All right, let's dive into a genre that has absolutely exploded in the world of fantasy romance. We're talking about the Villainess Reborn.
I mean, just think about that for a second. You wake up one day, and you're the character everyone hates. Worse, the story is already written, and it says you're headed straight for a miserable, tragic end. It's a terrifying thought, right? And that one single question is the engine behind this entire movement.
And believe me, this isn't some tiny niche corner of storytelling. This is a full-blown phenomenon, especially in a manhwa, Korean comics, where these heroines are literally getting a second shot at a life that was designed to destroy them. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at how these characters literally rewrite their own fate just to survive. Then, we'll get into what happens when it's not just about surviving, but about getting a total do-over in life. We're also going to explore the really emotional side of things, healing and finding love where you'd least expect it. And finally, we'll tackle the big one. Why are we so completely obsessed with these stories? So, let's start with the classic setup. Our main character wakes up and boom, she's the villainess. Her number one goal? It's pretty simple. Survive. But how they survive? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. You see, the protagonists in these stories take completely different routes to try and escape the terrible ending that's been written for them. And this slide really shows you the incredible range here. On one hand, you've got the heart-pounding tension of a story like Death is the Only Ending for the Villainess. In that one, Penelope is basically trapped in a high-stakes dating game where any of the guys could literally kill her. She has to be smart, brave, and just constantly on edge. But then you swing to the complete other side of the spectrum with something like The Villainess Flips the Script. Here, the heroine just refuses to play the part. Instead of being cruel, she's kind. And that simple act completely throws the original story off the rails, turning her enemies into her biggest supporters. And then there's this path, which is just brilliant. In I Will Become the Villain's Poison Detector, our hero finds herself as a minor villain who's forced to taste test a duke's food for poison. It starts as a raw deal, pure survival. But through her own wit and resilience, this genuine connection starts to form, and you watch as trust and, well, affection begin to heal them both as all these dark secrets come out. But it's not always about waking up as someone else. Sometimes the real fantasy is getting a do-over on your own life, a second chance to grab the power you never had. A lot of these second chance stories follow this incredible three-step playbook. First, the heroine dies a tragic death, and then gets sent back in time. Second, she uses all her memories of what's to come as her secret weapon. And third, she uses that inside info to totally change the game, aiming for the power, freedom, or just plain happiness she was denied the first time around. And the goals they have are so different and so cool. You've got Ferentia in I Shall Master This Family, who uses her knowledge for pure ambition. She wants to run the whole family. Then there's the heroine in Baroness Goes on Strike, who just says nope to repeating a miserable marriage and fights for her own independence. Or look at My In-Laws Are Obsessed with Me. She actually saves the people who were tied to her original tragedy, and they become her fiercest protectors. It's all about taking back control. Now we get to the part that really hits you in the feels, because sometimes that second chance isn't just for you, it's about saving somebody else. The whole motivation changes here. It's no longer just about self-preservation. It becomes this deep, powerful need to stop a tragedy you know is coming for someone else. These heroines use their knowledge to protect characters they've come to love, either from reading the story or living it. Take a story like For My Derelict Favorite. A hardcore fan literally gets pulled into her favorite book with one mission: save the broken, tragic male lead she always rooted for. Or A Fortune-Telling Princess, where she uses her powers to save her entire kingdom from disaster. And then there's the beautiful, gentle love in a symbiotic relationship between a rabbit and a black panther, where two unlikely souls find safety and trust with each other. And this quote, it absolutely nails it. These stories are about the idea that maybe, just maybe, by saving someone else, you end up saving yourself too. It's all about hope, redemption, and the incredible healing power of love. Okay, so that brings us to the biggest question of them all. Why this? Why are we so drawn to these stories? What is it about second chances that has millions of readers completely hooked? Well, when you really get down to it, these stories are tapping into some of our deepest human desires. And look at this, the biggest piece of the pie, a whopping 40%, is empowerment. But it's also about wish fulfillment. I mean, who wouldn't want to fix past mistakes? Plus the satisfaction of redemption and that simple, powerful hope for a second chance.
And all of this, every single one of those desires, it all boils down to one powerful concept: agency. The power to make your own choices, to act on your own terms. In a world where we can feel stuck or powerless, watching a character literally grab the pen and rewrite their destiny, man, that is just so incredibly satisfying.
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It doesn't matter if she's outsmarting assassins, building a business, or healing a broken heart. Every single one of these heroines is fighting for the right to be the author of her own life. And that's a fantasy that speaks to all of us who want to break free from the scripts that have been written for us. And that leaves us with one final exciting thought. This entire genre is built on changing the rules and flipping the script. So as these amazing heroines keep fighting for control and rewriting their own fates, it really makes you wonder, what kind of story will they decide to tell next?